G'day folks, Cortezerino here. Today I'm going to show you how to build Space Invaders. As you can see, it's just like the original video game. The minecarts will drop down level by level and you have to shoot them all before they disappear down the bottom or you lose. The aliens are also shooting back at you with laser beams and you need to get out of the way of them, otherwise they will hold you up or even, if you're really bad, kill you. So don't be too concerned about that intro. If you thought it was a bit hard, you can adjust the difficulty. I was playing that on hard, but you can slow down the descent of the minecarts and you can also adjust the frequency of these laser beams. See, that's what happens when you lose. When a minecart reaches the bottom, the lava starts. But if you win, there's no lava, it just plays a little tune on the note blocks. Now, this was a build I did in survival on the Diamond Society server, and it was a tutorial I said I would never do because it was just too big. But I've revisited the design and I've compacted it a lot. And I've built this in 1.11, so using some of the new features, I've been able to simplify it even more. So, let's get started. So I recommend that you build this into the side of a cliff or a mountain just to hide all the redstone behind it. So if you're building into a mountain, you want the mountain to start around about here. So I've marked out a bit of an area and you want to dig this down 3 blocks deep. And this rectangle of grey wool is 15 blocks long this way and 20 in this direction. And this rectangle of white wool is 10 blocks long in this direction and 3 in this direction, and it's also 3 blocks deep. So you want to come along to this corner here and we're going to count some blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th dig that. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll dig out this rectangle here. So you should be left with a rectangle that's 10 blocks long in that direction and 8 in that direction. Now grab some sand and place one right there, and leaving 1 block gaps in between, we're going to place down 5 with cactuses on top and then blocks on top of the cactuses. Then we'll grab some droppers and facing them straight up, we're going to place 2 right there with a chain of hoppers leading into the bottom one like so. On top of the hoppers, just in front of the cactuses, we're going to place powered rail in front of all 5, and then blocks in front like so. With 2 more powered rail leading out of the ones we placed before. Now grab some levers and we're going to power all of these rails. Then grab some furnaces. These don't have to be furnaces, but they help to cut down on lag, and place them like so on top of the hoppers, and we'll place 1 extra one right on the end. Now come along to these droppers and we're going to grab a comparator and place it right there with a piece of dust. Then grab an observer block and place it right there. Now I want you to dig out these blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and grab a dropper, place it facing straight up right there with a comparator coming out of it and a piece of dust. And we're going to build a glass item elevator. This one's from a video by Doc M. So a piece of glass right there with an observer block. And we'll do some hoppers leading all the way down here, connecting the 2 droppers. So I'll put a link to Doc M's tutorial in the description of this video. I think he credits Il Mango for the design though. So we'll put some glass around here and begin the glass item elevator, but we're not going to finish it just yet. So grab yourself some hoppers and we'll come around the front here again, and into this hopper that the dropper's facing into, we're going to place another line of hoppers all feeding down to that other hopper chain. Then grab some more powered rail, and on the hoppers above where we've placed the power rail before, we're going to place 5 more. Then we'll come around the back and grab yourself some slabs, and we'll place them against each of these blocks on top of the cactuses, like so. Then dig out one layer of ground here, and we'll connect all of these with slabs. And this is how we're going to power these powered rails. So place blocks on top of these other blocks that we placed before, and then spam redstone all across these slabs. So when we power this redstone with a pulse, these powered rails at the front will become powered. Now, between each of these powered rails on each side, we're going to build pillars 3 blocks tall, and these are visible blocks, so I'm using red hardened clay. So come along to this side here and grab some hoppers, and we're going to place 2 facing straight down right there, and then make another hopper chain coming all the way along here. And then in line with the other powered rails that we have, we're going to place 5 more powered rail on top of these hoppers. Now if you've started building Space Invaders in a different direction to I have, your powered rail might be facing out in that direction there. So to fix that, you just place a block there with a powered rail on top, and then you can break them and it'll be facing in the right direction. So next, grab blocks again. I'm using the red hardened clay, and we're just repeating what we did before, placing pillars 3 blocks tall on each side of these powered rails. Now grab your slabs again. We're going to place a temporary one right there and another one, delete that, and we're just going to copy what we did on the level right below. So same again, we're going to spam this with redstone dust, and grab your red hardened clay or whichever block you're using and place them right behind that powered rail. So we're just doing exactly what we did down below. We're going to build 5 of these in total, so place a hopper into that one, come up 2, and another row of hoppers along here, and I'll do 1 more, and then we might cut from there so you don't have to watch the entire thing. So powered rails along here again, and pillars 3 blocks tall on each side of those powered rails. And we'll get our slabs, temporary one, another one, delete that, and copying this. So we might cut from here and keep going until you have 5 of these lots of slabs with redstone dust on them. So you should now have 5 layers of these slabs with redstone. So come along the front, and with the red hardened clay again, right at the top, I'm going to build a layer across the front like so. Then you can swing around the back, and still with the red hardened clay, another block on top of each of these with more powered rail on top of those. Now these powered rail up the top here aren't going to be pulsing like the ones below, so we want these powered all the time. So I'm going to power them just with some torches right there. And behind this powered rail, do a temporary block, another one, delete that, and build a line of blocks right across here like so. And we will grab some dispensers, not droppers, and place them facing into each of these 5 powered rail. And on this layer of blocks at the back, we're just going to put redstone dust all the way along. Now grab some hoppers, and we're going to place 1 hopper feeding down into each of these dispensers, and then the one on the right hand side, we're going to place a hopper facing straight down, and then a line of hoppers going right across the top here. Then we get to the end, we want to come out 2 more hoppers, 1, 2, and that one right on the end should be directly in the middle of this glass item elevator. So we'll just grab some glass and we'll build this item elevator all the way up to the top. So when we reach the level of the hopper here, I like to just put one more layer of glass, but I leave that one above the hopper with nothing on it. So now we're going to start building our laser beams. So we're going to grab a block of choice. These won't be visible, so you can use whatever you like, and place one on the ends of each of these powered rails. Then we'll grab some torches and place them underneath each of these blocks, and torches on the side of the blocks like so. Then we'll grab some redstone lamps and place one on top of each of these torches right here. So I might just build one laser beam and then you can copy the other four from that. So we'll grab some redstone dust and place two there with a comparator facing in that direction. Then leaving a 1 block gap, we'll place a dropper with a hopper leading into it. Now this dropper is our randomizer, so inside of it I want you to place in 5 items that are only going to put out a signal strength of 1. So I recommend stuff like stone, granite, diorite, just stuff like that. Then we'll also place in a wooden shovel, and whenever that is dropped, that is going to fire a laser beam. And when I was playing on hard, I had it like that. So I only had 4 items in the shovel, but to start with, it's probably best to start with 5 items and the wooden shovel. So grab a block of choice. I'm still using the red hardened clay. I'll place one there and one there against the lamp, then a lamp, then a block, then a lamp, then a block, and we're going to keep going until we've got 5 lamps and a block right on the end there. Underneath these lamps we're going to place blocks of choice. These aren't going to be visible. Then place a temporary block right there with a block underneath, delete that, and actually on this one we will place a furnace on top of this hopper just to cut down on a bit of lag. But for the rest of them, we'll just use blocks. So temporary block and then one underneath. So it should look like that when you're done. And we'll grab some repeaters and we're going to face them coming out of that torch on the end. And this is the delay for our laser beam. So each of these you want to set them on maximum delay. So right on the end here, place 2 more blocks out like that and grab some redstone dust, and we'll place 2 dust, then another repeater, and set this one on 2 ticks. Next we're going to build a pulse extender. This one's by Exumavoid, and I'll put the link to his tutorial in the description, and we're using his because it's 1 wide. So we'll place a block right there and another one there with a comparator facing into that block, and we'll place another block on top of that comparator and a block behind it, and another comparator on top right here facing in the opposite direction from the other comparator. Then 2 dust on top of these blocks. This comparator will lead into another block and place a block down here with a piece of dust on it. So this is what it looks like when you're done. You might want to take a screenshot of that, and we will just continue on and build the other 4. Now come along to this side and you'll see that we've dug out more area than we actually need, but this is handy when you're building in survival, so you can get in and out of places. So now we'll grab a block of choice, place one on top of each of these comparators, and then one on top of these redstone dust right here. Then place dust all along these 3 blocks like so. Once you've done that, we're going to need 9 sticky pistons, and we're going to place a row of them in front of these blocks like so, and these are going to be our crushers. On the face of these crushers, grab a visible block. I'm using iron. That might be a little bit expensive in survival, so use whatever you like. Now grab 5 blocks of choice and place them down in front of the redstone dust, and this ensures that the pistons on each side of the one you're powering get bud powered. So that way if you're crushed by the middle piston, you'll be held in place, but if you're crushed by one of the ones on the sides, you can get out of it. So now I'm just going to put in some flooring here. Use a block of choice. I'm using polished andesite, and just fill in the gaps between the laser beams here, and we'll also do a row right on the edge. So once you've done that, on the side where the minecarts will be coming down, I want you to place 2 more blocks of polished andesite, like so. And on the side where you've got the crushers, we're going to build just a line of andesite right across the end. And this is where you will be standing when you're shooting at the minecarts. So we're going to place down some more visible blocks here. So I'm using the iron blocks again, but you don't have to use them. I'm going to place 2 on each side like so, and then build them up 5 blocks high. Now come around to this side, and we're going to build ourselves a doorway to get in and out. And you want this to be, if you're looking at the tower where the minecarts are, you want it to be on the left hand side. So I'm just using an iron door here, and remember to place a button up the top to open it. So then we'll place a block right there, and we're going to build blocks all the way along the top here. Then grab 9 dispensers and place them all along here against those blocks that we just placed. And then grab our visible blocks again and place another line right across the top like so. Then we'll get redstone dust and place it all along the top of these dispensers. And I'll just break these 2 blocks, I shouldn't have placed them. And we'll place a repeater facing into that first dispenser. Next, grab your stone slabs and we'll place a line of them underneath all of these dispensers. Then I like to use white stained glass, but make sure you're using glass here, and place a line of them like so, and that just means that you can see the laser beams while you're inside. If you have a solid block there, you're not going to be able to see them coming. Now we're just going to grab our block of choice and fill in the area inside our little bunker here. Next, grab a stone button. This is the button we'll use to start the game, and I'll place it right up the top there. And we don't place it in the middle one because those crushers will knock it off. And we'll finish off the bunker. Okay, bunker's done. Oh, no it's not. We need another wooden button up the top there so we can get out again. Now we're going to start on the fun bit, the redstone. So come along to this middle row of the redstone lamps and place yourself right here. Then grab a redstone block and place it there. So you'll see it's directly in line with that middle row of lamps. So next you want to face toward your bunker and grab a sticky piston and place it right there. Then grab a regular piston and place it right there. Then you guessed it, we're building an etho hopper clock. So 2 hoppers feeding into each other like so, with comparators coming out of each side. Those comparators will lead into blocks, and then place redstone dust there and there. Now on the side where the minecarts will be coming down, you want to grab a torch and place it right there. Then redstone dust there and there. Then we'll grab repeaters and we're going to place down 4 in this direction and turn around, and we'll place 4 in that direction. And we'll put all of these on maximum delay. This is the timing for how quickly the minecarts will drop down level by level. So place a block right there with a torch on it. And when I was playing on hard, I had 2 of these repeaters set to 1 tick delay. That's pretty hard. You wouldn't want to go much harder than that, but to start with, you can have it nice and easy with all of them on maximum delay. Now, coming out of this torch, you want to place a piece of redstone dust right there, then dig out this block, place a regular piston facing straight up with a piece of sand on top. Then we'll dig out a bit of room here like so. Then grab a repeater, place it right there on maximum delay. Then a block with a torch on it, and another block with a torch on it. So now we're going to send the signal from this clock up to each level of these slabs that have the redstone on it. And we're going to do it by building a derpy torch tower. So we've got the first level ready to go, so grab your slabs and we'll just connect this to the torch. So 2 there with dust on them. then grab a block, place it on top of this torch with a torch on the side and a block on top of that and a torch facing toward the slabs. So we'll place a slab right there with a piece of dust on it. Then we'll grab a torch on top of that block with another block on top. Then grab your slabs again, one there, piece of dust. Then we'll place a torch on the side with a block on top and another torch on top of that block. And we'll grab a slab, place it right there with a piece of dust. Then we'll place another block on top of that torch and grab your slabs, bring them down like so, 2 more, and then dust right across the top here. So next we're going to build the signal that controls how many minecarts are released. So place a piece of dust right there, then a repeater facing in that direction, then 4 blocks along here with dust on top of all of these. Then place a block here with a piece of dust on it, and we'll dig this one out, and we'll place a repeater right there. It's leading into a block with a torch on it, and we're going to build a torch tower straight up until you've placed 5 torches. So now we've got our torch tower that's 5 blocks tall. I want you to place a block on top of this torch with a block right here, then a temporary block there, block on top, block on that side, delete the temporary block and place a piece of dust right there. Next I want you to grab 2 temporary blocks, place one there and there. On the highest one we're going to place a chest, and on the lower one we're going to place a dropper facing straight up, and then you can delete those 2. Then we'll grab some hoppers, face one into the chest coming from the dropper, then a hopper leading into the dropper there, one there, and a last one leading into that hopper directly below that chest. Now I want you to grab 10 wooden shovels, and it's important that they're wooden shovels because they put out a specific signal strength. So place 9 of them in the dropper and then 1 of them into the hopper that's leading into that dropper. Now in front of this chest place 2 blocks and then a temporary one there, block on top, delete the temporary block, and temporary block there, block on top. Then grab a comparator, have it coming out of that chest right there with dust there, there and there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks and place 1, 2, 3 dust there, and grab a repeater and place it right on the end there. Now I'm grabbing the red hardened clay again because this will be visible from some angles, and we're going to build a line of blocks all the way along here until we reach the glass item elevator and place dust all along here. Now we're going to connect this dropper to the clock that's pulsing and controlling the minecarts. So place a block right there, then grab a slab and place it, we'll do a temporary one right there, one there, delete that, and we'll place dust there, there and there. So now every time the clock pulses, this dropper will fire a shovel and it will end up in this chest, and once there are 10 in the chest it'll put out a signal strength of 6, and a signal will come along here, and the dispensers will be able to fire 1 more minecart and then they won't be able to fire anymore. So now we're going to build the clock that powers our randomizers and in turn powers our laser beams. So on this block that we have the torch coming off, I want you to place another torch right there and 2 pieces of dust right there. Then 2 repeaters facing in that direction, both on maximum delay, and next to them facing in the opposite direction, 2 more repeaters, both on maximum delay. Then a block right there with a torch on it, and a repeater on top of that that dropper there. And we'll have to dig ourselves a little path. It's getting cramped. This repeater will lead into a block, and we'll place a piece of dust underneath that block. Then we'll come along here and place a repeater facing in that direction, another one here, and we're just connecting all of these droppers, and the last one right there. So next we're going to connect our on button for the game to the hopper clock down there. So come along to the hopper clock, place a repeater right there coming from a block, then we'll do temporary block, block on top, delete that, same again, temporary block, block on top, delete that, so you should have 3. Then this is the block where the button is, so we'll place a block beneath that with a repeater coming out of it. That repeater is going to lead into another block, which may be visible depending on how you build your game. Then underneath that block, place another block, block there, delete that one, and redstone dust on top of these 4 blocks. So now it's time to build what happens when you win and what happens when you lose. So we're going to be playing with lava pretty soon, so just as a precaution, let's put the walls up here. So if we accidentally activate the lava, it's not going to spill onto all of our redstone. So you could use fences, I'm just using polished andesite. So come along to this repeater that's facing into our dispensers right here, and place a block right there, then grab an observer block, and come underneath the block you just placed and place it facing down like so. Then underneath this observer block, place a block here with a torch on it, and a block on top of that with another torch on it, and the observer block will be able to read that torch. Next, place a comparator right there leading into that block, then grab a dropper, place it right there with a hopper leading into it, and we will place one item inside of that dropper. It can be any item you like. So when a minecart reaches the bottom, we want this dropper to fire, because it will send a signal to the observer block and then trigger our lava. So we're going to walk down this little hallway here, and when you're building it on survival, make sure you light this area up. You don't want a creeper in here. And we'll come along to this dropper elevator. Now after this piece of dust, you want to place a repeater, and we'll place a block right there with a piece of dust and a block right here to stop those 2 bits of dust connecting. Then place another block with a comparator on it. That comparator will lead into another block, and we're going to have to dig out some dirt here, so dig these ones out, and we'll have a comparator coming out of that block leading into another block, another comparator leading into a block, and a piece of dust right there. This isn't necessary, but it's a pulse extender. It just stops some annoying ticking of that dropper. So every time a minecart comes down after you've lost and the lava's running, this is going to tick. So this pulse extender will just turn all those individual ticks into one long pulse. So next you're going to want to place a block there and one there with a repeater coming out of this block. Then 10 pieces of dust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we'll go 2 blocks, piece of dust there, then a repeater and a block against that dropper. And then find a way out. Now you can go ahead and place 1 lava bucket in each of these dispensers. Now once the lava is triggered, we don't want laser beams being shot at us because we won't be able to see them coming. So next to this hopper, place a block and then a comparator facing in that direction. So when the dropper drops an item into this hopper, it'll put out a signal and turn off the clock that powers our laser beams. Now while the game is running, we want this hopper powered so it is locked and the item will stay in there once it's been fired. So come along here, place a block on top of that torch with a torch on the side, and then 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with dust on these 3, and then 2 repeaters coming from this torch, both on maximum delay. And these repeaters are just there so to match these 2 repeaters here, so the clock turns off at the same time that this hopper's unlocked. So next we're going to do what happens when you win. So come along to this redstone line we just put in and place a torch right there and a repeater right there. Then dig out this block, place a regular piston facing straight up with a piece of sand on top, and then come around the other side and place a repeater there on a 2-tick delay with a note block there, then another repeater, 2-tick delay again, another note block, repeater, 2-tick delay, and another note block. Now, when you win, this is going to play a tune, but if this dropper has fired because a minecart has reached the bottom, we want it to cut the power to these note blocks. So place a piece of dust right there with a block on top, then a repeater right there, put that on maximum delay with a block there, and a repeater facing into that repeater. So if that dropper has dropped an item into the hopper, the comparator will be powering that block with the torch on it. So there will be power coming in here, and this will lock this repeater. So even when the signal comes through, it's not going to pass straight through this repeater. Now you can do any tune of note blocks that you like. The one I built on the Diamond Society plays the opening riff to Iron Man. But here's a really simple one. I just tuned this one with 4, so clicking the right mouse button, 1, 2, 3, 4, then double it to 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this one on 16. And then just to finish off, we will grab some blocks to put into this etho hopper clock. So I'm using cobblestone here, and this will trigger when you put items in, but you want to put in 2 stacks of 64 and then another stack of 10. Now this system of refilling the dispensers with minecarts needs a lot of minecarts to work correctly. So you want to have all of these dispensers filled up with 9 minecarts, and all of the hoppers leading into them, you want them filled up as well. And you want to at least half fill this hopper chain up the top. So I've got mine filled up all the way to here, and you are going to lose the occasional minecart that when you shoot it, it flies off in the wrong direction. So fill it up as much as you possibly can all the way if you've got enough iron to do so. And the very last thing to do, I noticed when I was editing, I put a hopper right here above this furnace. You don't need that, you can take that away, and we are done. So thanks for watching, guys. This tutorial was torture to put together for you, so I hope you do enjoy it, and if I get a good response for this video, I might even do a tutorial for Pac-Man. So cheers from me, I'm Cortezerino, see you later.